For a couple of years now, when it comes to Minecraft updates, Mojang has been pretty consistent, with a singular large update dropping right at the beginning of the summer every single year. This was the case of Minecraft updates up until a couple of weeks ago when Mojang threw a curveball at us. A couple of weeks after that, Mojang, they did another one. A few weeks ago, we talked about it in this video right here. A few weeks ago, everything shifted with this announcement right here. Updates are out, the drops are in, except updates aren't out. Updates are just way more common. The second curveball Mojang threw at us was Minecraft Live popping up way closer than it usually does, and then I suppose another curveball right after that. So many curves going on is Mojang adding basically the entire update, essentially, well, everything that they showed off at that earlier than usual Minecraft Live a couple of weeks ago. With this new update cycle, the unknown, and all of the happenings that have been happening, this raises a gigantic question, a question that I keep seeing pop up. Updates. Is there another one, like a third major one coming by the end of the year? The answer is, well, I think you might like it. Let's take a look. In order to answer this question, let's kick things off by taking a look at where we are right now and what specifically is happening. A couple of weeks ago at Minecraft Live, pretty much right off the bat, the developers announced that a brand new update is making its way to the game very soon. This brand new update, it's a drop, and it's called the Bundles of Bravery. Now, this new drop system that's pretty new, just in case you're out of the loop. Essentially, Mojang is calling a new update a drop. And a drop, it's kind of like what the Armored Paws update was. A drop is essentially going to be an update that might end up being a little bit smaller in scale. Sometimes it might be a little bit larger in scale. Long story short, they're going to kind of be all over the place. And hopefully, they're going to be pretty frequent. Our first big drop that we know is coming soon, and probably like a couple of weeks soon, is the Bundles of Bravery. Taking a look at everything that is coming to the game in the Bundles of Bravery drop and how complete it is, well, it seems like it's just about fully polished and finished. All that Mojang seems left to do with this boy is pack it up into a nice neat little pre-release release candidate and send it out to the world. Two major keys for the bundle here. On both versions of the game, they are 1, existent, 2, is super polished. Now, the other part of this Bravery drop the Java gang completely lacks out on here is hardcore Minecraft. Over on Bedrock, I guess hardcore mode itself is about as polished as it could be. Aside from those wonderful random death bugs, it seems that Bedrock is about as close as it can get to hardcore being ready. But that was just our first update. A little bit later on at Minecraft Live, we got the big reveal of what Mojang is currently calling the Winter Drop Update. And then a couple of days after Minecraft Live, Mojang followed it up with a grand slam home run of a move. They added every single thing that they revealed at Minecraft Live into the Minecraft to Java snapshot. And aside from everything being shown off exactly as it was at Minecraft Live, feature complete and all, there are also quite a few other cool secret little quirks that were added into the snapshot as well. It all feels so creepy, asymmetrical, weird, but at the same time, it feels so polished. Hey, wait, back that up. Every single thing is here. There's a giant asterisk floating around on screen for a reason with this one, lads. Heyo, this is a quick reminder, a urgent reminder, to tap that like button. It helps me out huge time, and make sure you're subscribed. Turn those notifications on. Last week, one of the smallest Minecraft previews dropped in a hot minute. Minecraft Preview 1.21.40.25. Inside of this preview, the preview that dropped only a day after the big Java snapshot with everything, nothing was added. So I talked about this one a tiny bit on stream, but basically, instead of adding a brand new beautiful pale version of the oak wood set, new mob and everything like that, no, instead, Mojang just about wrapped things up for the upcoming 1.21.40 update. Now, rumored updates and release dates, leaks, things like that, I don't know how loved or sanctioned they are over at Mojang HQ, but it sure seems like, taking a look at our normal timeline here, the Minecraft 1.21.40 Bundles of Bravery drop on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, now finally seemingly being polished up, it looks like this update is probably headed towards a release somewhere around October 22nd. You see, this most recent preview looks like it's going to be the final one, and this week, if a brand new preview cycle begins, well, then in about 2 weeks' time, a little bit less, we should see the new update. Consider the fact that this update is a gigantic update, adding bundles to the game finally at last, and it's safe to assume that on Minecraft to Java, this update will release at about the same time. Oh, it's a funny thing, really. It's just a concept. It's not really real, but it rules everything. Is there time? Drop number 1 that we had confirmed at Minecraft Live, Bundles of Bravery, looks like it's going to release in a couple of weeks. Drop number 2 we had confirmed at Minecraft Live, called the Winter Drop Update. Not the official name, but it works. Absolutely doesn't have a ring to it or anything like that. Winter Drop Update with the creaking and a bunch of other things. Well, according to both what the devs said at Minecraft Live and the name of the toggle, it's coming out this winter, before the end of the year. Plenty of time. But to figure out if there's time for another update, we need to first figure out what's going on with the winter drop. Throwing things back to Minecraft Live 2023, the year before this year's Minecraft Live, keep in mind that Agnes said that the developers have been working on tools behind the scenes and in front of the scenes nowadays to improve the game's update speed time. It sure seems like, at least Java's side, over the span of like the most recent 7 or so snapshots, all across the late summer leading into fall, alongside some cool experimental updates, the developers have been adding this brand new component system into the game, which essentially does exactly what Agnes said it would do a year before. This brand new component system is way easier to understand and will be able to help mod makers and vanilla game makers make things faster. Now this brand new, the latest creaking update, it's in a little bit of a funny spot, if you will, because you see on Minecraft Live, we had every single thing revealed. And now, if this is a winter drop update, and winter, technically speaking, begins right before my birthday, December 20th or something. Well, time, it's a funny thing, and that thing specifically, it's even more funny because that leaves a whole lot of time in between now and when this update is supposedly releasing later this year. If content is quicker to make now, and our second update, the winter drop update, is seemingly feature complete based off of the announcements, what are they gonna do for like 2 months? What are they gonna do? Technically speaking, we have no clue, but we do have some hints. Next up, a little chapter of the video that I'd like to call something like the definitives. Now, I just want to run through this part real quick here, but what do we know for sure is happening right now? Well, of course, we have the winter drop, but then on Java, we have 3 other experimental toggles, one of which has not been touched in over a year, so we'll just cross that off the list. The other 2 toggles here, though, minecart improvements and redstone experiments, it seems like these are ongoing experiments that the developers are actively working on. For the remainder of these few months, the devs could certainly put a lot more polish and focus into these updates, but realistically, overall, I would say the updates in their current form inside of the game, they're not really that controversial, and I think for the most part, maybe like 80% approved by the community, especially those minecart ones. Now, over Bedrock side, what the devs are currently working on gets a little bit more complex because they're kind of working on a little bit of everything, from hardcore Minecraft to shaders to editor mode to tons of technical stuff, improving structures, jigsaw blocks, structure blocks, and their generation capabilities. Yeah, it's a great time to be a Bedrock player because a lot of cool stuff is happening. Long story short, even though we don't have very many other announcements to look forward to for sure at Minecraft Live, it looks like there's a whole lot going on in the community on both sides of it. If Winter Drop is due out before the end of the year, the devs could totally spend the next 2 or so months just essentially refining the content in that update and then some of this other stuff as well, but would they really? Because they've been refining all of this content alongside working on other stuff the entire time. Surely the devs aren't just gonna sit around and do nothing. Just a few moments ago, we were taking a look at the question, is there time? We never necessarily came to a definitive answer. Instead, we came to an answer that seems to begin with the letter Y and end with a sound S. But a great way to actually tell for sure if there is time is compare what's going on this year to what went on last year and maybe say the year before. After all, up until this point, Mojang has been insanely consistent with their development and the updates and all of that stuff. So since really Minecraft 1.18, we've had a major update drop right at the beginning of the summer, and then following that up, a couple more updates up until the end of the year. The year of Minecraft 1.19 over on Bedrock, the year in which this old modern cycle kicked off, had 1.19 released in the beginning of the summer, and then by the end of the year, the final update to release was 1.19.50 on November 29th. After that, and right before the end of the year, they actually began the next update cycle. Jumping ahead to last year, the dates almost exactly line up as well. Before the end of the year, on December 5th, 2023, 1.20.50 released. All the while, the next update, 1.21.60, was under work. And that update, the .61 of which previews would kick off before the end of the year, well, that update, it would end up releasing with a whole ton of experimental content. Java side, the numbers may be different, but things are still pretty consistent. 1.19 era a couple of years ago, 1.19.3 was that final update of the year, releasing on December 7th. Last year, 1.19 1.20, the Bats in Pots kind of drop update. It ended up releasing on December 5th. And then, right before the end of the year, snapshots for the Armored Paws release 1.20.5, they began. That almost just about does it. That nearly gets us so close to where we're trying to get to today. The answer. 2 months of time is a whole lot of time, especially if every single feature that was announced is already here, and for the most part, feels pretty loved and polished. Relatively minor biome quirks and generation aside, a lot of the content that we already have for this winter drop update, I mean, realistically, I just don't see how they're going to spend 2 months changing and adjusting the creaking. I mean, maybe a snapshot with some of the feedback, but for the most part, I think people pretty much are in love with this creaky RuneScape tree mob. So last things last, almost, just before we come to our as close to definitive answer as we could possibly get today, I'd like to remind you guys that this week is going to be an interesting week. Based off of where we are on Minecraft Bedrock Edition for this upcoming Bundles of Bravery drop, I feel that on Java, it's very likely that we might finally end up seeing a pre-release and the winding down of this current update. Now, when it comes to these experimental features, the system that we kind of been working with for a couple of years now, it seems that Mojang likes to get experimental features, for example, the new update, into an update. Before that update, that's a lot of non-descriptors. It looks like Mojang likes to get experimental features for the next update into an update that is releasing to the main public. So like, for example, take this exact update, for example, Minecraft 1.20.1.2. They try and get the next update features, the Pale Garden, into the update so that people, when they check out the new full release of an update and not a snapshot, they could check out the new stuff, test it, and they can get feedback. And that's it. That's it. And if Mojang likes the idea of implementing next update features into an update that is releasing, well, then it sort of totally looks like timeline-wise leading up until the end of the year. By the way, never really mentioned it explicitly, but it seems like this winter drop update, whatever it's going to end up being called, will likely release sometime in the middle of December. Well, then it sounds like, it looks like, then there almost certainly is time for even more, even if it is experimentally more, before the end of the year. But what do you think? Do you think there's any chance we actually see another update by the end of the year? You have different secret inside knowledge? Well, you tell me about it down below. Oh, and before I get in my car and head home, I want to just remind you again, I'm not a developer technically. This is all speculation. Today, we've just been using a little bit of good old-fashioned logic to hopefully find an answer. Anyways, though, Minecraft development over the next couple of months is sure to be spicy. Right now, make sure you're subscribed. Tap that like button if you enjoyed the video. It helps me out. It's been me, Handsome Lad Waddles, and I will see you all in the next one tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.